We will first assign an index to each item in the array of items with a complexity of O(n) squared. We will then sort the items by the areas from smallest to largest with a complexity of O(n) log n. Next, we will create a new box with the indicated number of rows and columns. As we create a new box, a map of the box will be created, so if there's 10 rows and 10 columns, this will be the map of box that will be created. We will then move on to loop through the list of items until there's no more items to be found, or a fit cannot be found anymore. So for fit would be an item found in items that can fit into the box. So fit would call add item, which would call try add item to try to add the item to the box, or the item rotated by 90 degrees into the box. It will then return true or false depending on the results. For the try add method, it first creates an item row to replicate one row of the item. It will then loop through the map of the box and will keep moving on to the next row unless the particular row contains the item row. For the number of rows in the items, sub-rows will obtain and map the leftmost column indexes of all the subsequent rows that are needed to fit item row. If sub-rows do not contain any nil values and is not empty, we will assign the first column index to be the index found on the first subsequent row where item row was found. This will ensure that the item will always be inserted into the leftmost part of the box. We will then check if the item can indeed fit into the box. So, based on the indexes of first call index and index of the row. So if the item can fit, we will indicate the position of the item in the box with X. For this algorithm, if another item with the same dimensions needs to be fitted, it can no longer fit into the first, second, or third row, so it will then fit from the fourth row onwards as follows. We will then get the necessary coordinates as arrays. So if fit is not nil, we would add the coordinates to the array and assign the fitted item to nil. We've established the time complexities earlier already. So for fit, the main complexity comes from the try add method, which is basically O(n) as it loops through the entire map of the box. The find method is also of O(n) complexity, and hence the time complexity for fit will be O(n) squared. Adding an item to an array is O1. Replacing an item at a particular index of an array would be O(n). The outer loop would also be O(n) as well. Hence, the time complexity for this section would be O(n) cubed. Thank you.